Hello everyone, it's Ashwin Rao. Today's video concludes my initial foray into discussing whom I consider to be the world's best bootmakers. Now I'll continue this series in other directions, featuring brands that are particularly suited or do a great job in specific segments of the bootmaking market. But the first three videos and the conclusion video with this brand feature those that are elevated in terms of style, craftsmanship, artistry, and just fit and finish in terms of the quality of boots you're getting. These are amongst the most desirable bootmakers in the world. And the series finishes up with Østmo boots. This is a Type 1 boot from Østmo, which is a one-person operation based out of rural Norway by Lars Jensen. For those of you who don't know Lars, he's become somewhat of a cult figure in the modern boot enthusiast and bootmaking community, essentially as a soup-to-nuts bootmaker producing high-quality shoes using unique and rugged-looking heritage-style lasts, producing a style that has become increasingly popular as a play on the Norwegian style military service boot. Really, this is the boot that represents this style, and Lars has only essentially made about 150 or so pairs of boots ever. So if you can get a hold of one of his boots, they have a certain je ne sais quoi, simply because you know that this boot was made by the hands of Lars. You know that there's only a small handful to go around, and you have to get one in your own size. Lars typically offers his boots through a lottery system on Instagram, and basically will release models either in specific makeups or specific styles or specific leathers or all of the above. He has a couple different lasts, including this last, which is his more dress or elevated Mo last, and a more wide-toed, roomy Asbjornsen last. Now, the vast majority of his boots are this Type 1 boot, which you can see here, has this arcing panel in terms of side paneling before you get to the neck and collar of the shoe here. This almost makes the shoe look in profile like a derby style shoe, a 5-eyelet derby, but then with a shaft attached to it here. But still a very unique and beautiful design in my mind, and one that he has become known for. Now, he also has a Type 2 boot, which I'll put a picture of as we speak here, and a number of derby shoes, which you'll see in the images that I'm presenting now, that all have come to great acclaim. Now, these boots are typically constructed using a hand-done stitch-down construction in a 270-degree stitch-down pattern, which you can see through here. You can see the double row of stitches right along the front side of the shoe here, transitioning to a single row as we approach the waist and then the heel. He does a really nice job with his block heel design, cutting it fairly close to the upper so there's not a huge step off here. He typically uses natural edge dressing, though there's variations there. I really like that. And in this case, he's using a studded Vibram sole, which I think is a nice option for this. This particular leather is a coral colored, essentially light red-brown Roughout leather from a now defunct tannery. I believe it's called the Aarenes tannery, that was based in Norway and is no longer producing any leathers. And so this is kind of a unique option for this particular shoe, and part of why I selected it is I did not have a red-brown colored Roughout in my collection. I thought the Roughout style really does a nice job at representing the look of his shoes, and it's made one by Lars, so there's only a handful of boots out there made by Lars, and features a leather that will no longer be available. Other features I really like in terms of the design cues were his use of these rivets that you can see here and here, and you can see the clean work done on the stitching of the upper, just a simple patch of leather adorning the backside of the shoe, but it's really the profile of the shoe and ultimately the last that I find to be particularly appealing. Now, some people would call this Mo last a slightly lower volume last. See right here that this is boot number 166, manufactured in August of 2022, and is 43.5 on his Mo last right there. And I really like the fact that he has put this on the boot to really provide that additional customization. All of this essentially builds into the mythology of Østmo boots and how rare they are and how desirable they are on the boot market. This particular boot uses speed hooks. Lars was really excited to use speed hooks because most people who have purchased his shoes have chosen to use a total of 8 eyelets rather than 5 eyelets and 3 speed hooks. But you can see here I chose the 3 speed hook, 5 eyelet version. One of the last design elements that I did not discuss required me to unlace these boots, and that's the use of this Scotch grain style leather to form the tongue of the shoes. This is something that Lars does on a number of his boots. You can see here the contrast that this leather offers, which I think is another beautiful cue to maintaining the balance of the shoe, because you have this beautiful coral Roughout, this Scotch grain leather, and the edge dressing that echoes the colors of the upper and now the tongue of the shoe. So overall, just another feature that really elevates Østmo from a design and aesthetic standpoint. So I wanted to provide you with a few last views of the last of the world's best bootmakers in the current series that I'm featuring here. Lars and Østmo boots is amongst the very best in the world. Based on my experience, these boots fit incredibly well. They are comfortable. They feel like they're a near bespoke fit for my foot. And I think they would accommodate a wide range of people's feet as well. So to that end, Østmo boots, Lars Jensen, one of the world's best bootmakers. You all have a good day. I'll see you later, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye.